afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. C with my nearly weekly video. I like to check in with my students to find out how you're doing, to let you know that there's a real voice and a real person behind all of the text that you see online. I also wanted to check in about certain topics. It's amazing how certain themes tend to go with every couple of weeks, and this one tends to be a little bit about conflict. In a post-COVID world, I feel a lot of emotion that comes through with my students. A lot of conflict, a lot of frustration, a lot of angst, I guess is the word. And what I see sometimes are more effective ways forward. Remember, I'm a professional educator. That's what I do. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a consultant. And so I want to see if there's a way that we can help take a peek of where we are and see if we might look at some of our skills. I'm teaching a mentoring and coaching class this semester. I do send these videos out to all of my students. But it's very interesting in that particular class that we're looking at the difference between a coach, skill set, a mentor, mindset. And part of that mindset is that ability to deal with those frustrations. What happens when life doesn't go right? How do you mitigate? How do you overcome? How do you cope? We do have the ability to disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable to do it. And I know conflict is one of those interesting words that many people associate negativity with. They assume if they're going to have a conflict with their boss or a confrontation or something that's going to imply that there's going to be heated dissension. And I'm here to tell you that's not necessarily a reasonable expectation. When we set an intention about communication, exactly what we want to have happen as a result of an exchange. Remember, we've talked about this, whether you're writing a book, whether you're writing an email, whether you're writing a text. There's intention, there's intro, there's body, there's conclusion. There's the ability to prepare your reader for what's coming, tell them, then tell them what you told them. And I see a lot of intentions being missed, a lot of assumptions being made. We assume then when someone disagrees, it's going to be confrontational, it's going to be ugly, it's going to get heated, it's going to get, ah. It doesn't have to be that way. I just had an amazing exchange with someone that we disagreed just about everything. And it was absolutely amazing because it was humorous, it was light, it was airy, it was the ability to talk about very deep subjects, but with an air of going, I wonder, could I be seeing this differently? Might I still believe with what I believe? Communication has to have an intention, and the intention is, well, why am I here? Am I intending to persuade you to a different point of view? Am I here to tell you that you're wrong? Am I here to be able to show you the error of your ways? Am I here to convert you? Am I here to have conformity in the group? Every one of those has a different strategy. But if we go with the overarching strategy of knowing, well, this is going to be a wonderful opportunity, it's going to be a terrific exchange, we're going to have a way to be able to find a way through instead of find only a way to survive. How we frame this, the language that we choose, is how it will happen for us. Expect something bad might happen. Expect something good will probably happen. If you expect that this is going to be a positive exchange, it may not turn out exactly what it is, but that will give you the stage, the setting, the context, the mood, the mindset. And so I want to be able to offer you an opportunity that conflict doesn't have to be confrontational. Conflict doesn't have to be combative. It doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to imply that a fight is coming. The idea of communication is the ability to talk, to clear the air, to have the ability to say, hey, there's something that you may have missed. There's something that I don't understand that requires clarity. There's something that I'd like to talk to you about. May I have your permission? Would you dialogue with me? Oftentimes, it's much easier to throw out that text, throw out that social media post, throw out that video, throw out that email, one-way communication, as opposed to picking up the phone to have a dialogue, because that's what conflict resolution is about. Negotiation, compromise potentially. But if nothing else, the ability to have an opportunity to connect with another human being, to share your thoughts, share your feelings, to share that maybe they said something that maybe they never intended to say, I see communication errors all the time. And somebody sends an email and somebody gets bent out of joint because of how they interpreted the email when it was never intended that way. When we have the ability to communicate, you can see my face, you can register the tone in my voice, the look in my eye, the speech patterns I use, the way I look at you, the sincerity or not, the confrontational or not, the way my voice can come through or not. I want to be able to offer this opportunity because I see too many people having what could be positive exchanges, even if they don't agree. And we don't have to. That's what makes it spicy. That's what makes it intellectually stimulating when you can have a debate with someone going, something I didn't see coming, something I didn't expect, a new point of view, an opportunity to be able to see things differently. None of that necessarily translates into confrontation. So let's see if we can't use our coping skills a little bit more effectively this week. Don't shy away from conflict. I wouldn't create it if you don't have to. But when you look at the intention and you can feel that something's not quite right, set an intention to see if you can't change things. And it could very much simply be, I'm sorry. I didn't interpret or didn't intend or didn't understand the communication. Could we have an opportunity to discuss it calmly, rationally, with love, kindness, graciousness, and the ability to connect with another human being? I saw some research this week that was a little disturbing that said it was way more easier to be confrontational, to be negative, to be mean, than it was to be kind. That has to change. So let's see if we can't change it with us, shall we? I know sometimes it can be difficult. I've had some of those difficult conversations, and for many this week, I've been pleasantly surprised. And part of that is, what do I tell us in class? If we show up differently, they show up differently. We can only control how we come to the party. But if we create a congenial attitude, a space that's humorous, that's loving, that's open, that's non-judgmental, that we can come together and to have a resolution that's peaceful, kind, loving, gentle, monotone, instead of heated discussions and heated arguments. We are capable for that. I've seen it. I've been part of it. If you're not yet capable of it because the emotions are too high, then talk to me. Talk to others. Bring in a third party. Bring in a friend. Bring in someone else who can help you to let cooler heads prevail, because defensiveness breeds defensiveness. And we get ourselves all wrapped up and really out of sorts when there might be a better way forward. So you're willing to find out? Are you willing to try? Call me. I'd like to be able to talk to my students often, particularly when I'm mentoring in my coaching class. There's nothing better than to practice what we're learning. I don't know if you know this, but all psychologists have to go through having their own mental health counseling before they too can be a mental health counselor. To be a good leader, we need to be a good follower. So a little bit longer video than normal, but I want to help mitigate some of this conflict, particularly since the holidays are coming. Tempers tend to run high. Time tends to run short. Let's see if we can't pause just ever so slightly and choose the most effective tool for the most effective outcome. And sometimes that tool is just you and a smile. I'm Dr. C. I'll see you around the quad. Have a fabulous week. Call me. Bye.